Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Alexandria Denise, and this is episode 324. I'm your host, Keith Andrew, and thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And now for people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. But you should never give up, and you should prove to people you can still amount to something. That labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and you should prove to them that you can still amount to something. So that being said, half hour, 40 minutes of your time, have as much time as you like. Freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression. You can call me an asshole for messing up your name. I'll call you Ms. Denise for short, or Alexandra, if you're okay with that.
That actually sounds pretty unique and cool. I like that, Alexandra. You pronounce it a lot better.
Well, like I said, I'm here with beautiful and talented Alexandra, and like I said, I always like the name. It's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
I'm a bad flirt.
Okay.
And also, part of my learning disability is I have it on my phone as text-to-speech. So it pronounces the name for me. So I have to keep repeating it over and over. Now, I don't say it. I have to hit the play button over and over so it sinks in. I'm like an old computer. Yeah, eventually I'm going to get to the point, but until then I'm going to be like, okay, wait, I'm sorry, what's your name again? And then they tell me, like, okay, what's your name? I'm not doing it to be an ass. I keep forgetting, because if you don't do it on a regular basis, you know, it's... If you see someone once in a blue moon, you'd be like, oh, hey, you're so-and-so. But if you work with someone on an everyday basis, you're like, oh, I know your name. You know, I can't snap my fingers, but, you know, it's repetition.
Okay.
So. But again, no disrespect. But with that being said, half hour, 45 minutes, you have as much time as you like. Talk about whatever you want. Freedom of speech. And starting off, what can you tell us about your life growing up? And were you a study nerd or party animal in college?
In college, I'd say, well, it wasn't so much like I was probably a little bit of both. Not too heavy on either one. Well, I guess you could say I'm more of the study nerd. I mean, I have worked at libraries and bookstores and whatnot before. I read. I write. I better hope I can read as an actress. But I like to write some of my own works as well. I've written a couple of things, and one screenplay actually that I did in college. Didn't exactly get it too far, but I'm gonna dust it off and see what more I can do with that, especially with a lot more of the indie films becoming popular and whatnot. But in college, I pretty much went in knowing what I wanted to do. I studied speech communication and theater at Tennessee State University and graduated 2012 December with a BA in that. So 4.5 years, yes. Wow. Living life now and knowing what that's about.
No, absolutely. And you mentioned, the part about reading script. It's, I throw myself underneath the bus. I read at a 5th grade level. So basically, how I learn is, I don't know if you're the same way, but how do you learn? If someone, I give you a perfect example. If someone said, like, here's a book, go read it. Would that sink in, or are you like me, where you have to sit with the person and you have to go over it? I'm more of a hands-on type of person than reading.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a little bit of both too. And so I know when in terms with acting and everything, we have table reads, and
right.
The director, producer, whomever else in the room will go over the script and help us interpret it, whatever it is we need to. But it's everyone have a different pace, so everyone learns, of course, a different way. There's no right and wrong way. I use several different methods of remembering work. So whether it's write down the first letter of each word, And then in acting, we have a different system and method of how to do it. And across the tables, everything you can possibly think of. And some of it is silliness, like just dance around the room and sing your lines kind of thing. So it's so many different ways. But as far as remembering text goes, I don't really have that much of a problem with it. It is pretty, when I have a chunk of work, I will say that it is like, oh my God, how am I going to get through with this? But when you break it down, it's really not that bad, you know? I think I spend more time just thinking about, okay, I should do this now, than actually doing it, so.
Well, here's the next question for you. Before we actually the easy ones, then we can go to the hard-hitting ones. If someone gave you a script, are you more comfortable saying what someone wrote, or do you feel to be a little more free spirit, how I feel, and just ad-lib? What feels more natural for you, reading a script or just ad-libbing to the situation?
Well, you definitely want to honor what the writer has put down on the paper.
Right.
And, of course, the diction of the words and how things are written is important to your character just as it is to this whole story. So, I mean, every now and then I'll find myself in a daze or have a brain fart and be like, and then I'll just keep it going because I also started out in the theater, and that's how you do. You just keep going and try not to stop. So if I have to ad-lib something, at least, you know, if I lost my lines, just don't lose that moment and just keep going with it. I try to stay on script as much as possible, and sometimes I think it really depends on who you work with too. Some people are really anal about it, and then some people are like, okay, you did fine. At least you got what we wanted, got the feeling still. Who cares? So yeah, I find myself swaying a little bit of both. You know, I may not get every exact word. You know, when it comes to the study portion of it, that's what we have to break down, which words really mean something to that scene. So you better not forget that one. Right. But everything else, you know, just go with it.
So, like, for a perfect example, they don't want you to say, screw it, I forgot my line, and just get up and walk away.
Yeah.
They just want you to say, when you're like, shit, I forgot my line, to be like, oh, just make it up. Maybe I'll repeat actor, say, what did he say? And when she says it, it's like, oh, and then ad-lib. They don't want you to walk away. They just want to keep it moving.
Oh, yeah, because that's time-consuming there. But, you know, the beautiful thing about film, it's not like theater, of course. I mean, of course, the acting is the same. Acting is so many different technicalities of it. But when you're doing theater, a live show, keep going. But in film, you get that moment to really just pause. You'll have a script supervisor to call out and say, you know, whatever it is your line is, but just staying in the moment, keeping it real. And it helps editors. They love us for that. You know, really merge everything together and make it smooth. That's what we try to do as actors.
No, absolutely. And it's always fun to more ad-lib, because if you forget something, they would partly, if I had to say, I apologize. But, you know, they would probably get annoyed off you if you walk off stage. But if you stand there and you ad-lib something, one, you're not wasting anyone's time. You're continuously working on the story, and the story progresses. And you can always edit, you know, the parts out and do a voice dub over what you were originally supposed to say. But if you get up and walk away, then that looks unprofessional.
As long as you keep that moment, hey, in a sense, you can't go wrong. But you know, a lot of well-known actors have done stuff probably unintentionally or intentionally from mistakes they've made on set. And I mean, mistakes are mistakes, but sometimes those be the greatest moments. So, and that's what makes it to the cut. They're like, oh, okay, well, let's put that in there. It wasn't in the script, but it was great. So you never know. Your mistake something good could come out of your mistake. So.
No, a perfect example, you know, when I'm funny, you know, I come across obnoxious, but when I'm sarcastic, And when I'm being serious and when I come across sarcastic, then it's funny. So a perfect example is if you're trying to make people laugh, say, oh, part blah 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 said in script and you're supposed to do this, and people are supposed to be like, okay. But if you do something on the candy, then it's, it makes it better. So if you try to plan a laugh, if you try to plan a prank, then it sounds good on paper. But if you're just doing it as in an everyday fashion, then that's what makes it funnier. For perfect example is Jackie Chan. He ad-libs everything. He doesn't read a script. He doesn't know how to read. So I guess we're in the same boat. But he doesn't know how to read a script. So when people work with him, he basically he reacts to what you said. So if you tell me something, I'm just going to repeat it and it's how we're talking right now. It says I'm just ad-libbing everything. We didn't do a script beforehand because then it sounds fake. But if you sound like a great actor, like a great actress you are, then you're going to make it sound really good. Reason? Exactly. Oh, go ahead.
No, you got it. I was just throwing something in there. Ad-libbing, right?
Yes. So when it's funny with Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, and there's someone else, it's like, it's always a fun day working with Jackie Chan because you never know what he's going to say because he's always ad-libbing.
Yeah. And then, like I say, you definitely want to have that partnership with the director, and because they're the visionary of the whole thing. They're the ones that are hired to create this vision. And it's not it's fun to collaborate with the director and be like, hey, I know you see it this way, but you mind if we try it this way and whatnot? Because everybody's on the project to make that happen, make that best moment. I've done it a couple of times at one of the movies that I was in. I saw my character doing one thing, but the director saw it doing another, and we just kind of collaborated a little bit. We did a little bit of each. I don't exactly know how the final take or which one they chose. I haven't seen the product yet, but it's those subtle things helping it make it work for everyone. So who knows what the final project's going to be yet. Haven't seen it yet. Waiting on it.
Same here. We were talking about indies before we got started on the show. And, you said you worked with a bunch of indies. And if you think about my show, it's an indie project. Because, I'm doing everything myself, promoting myself, looking for talent myself.
Yeah.
Editing. And YouTube, it's kind of like a big independent market because there's always someone out there, and it's in a way it's a competition, but I'm trying not to please everyone because at the end of the day, if you're happy with yourself, that's all that matters. I know the whole cutthroat business, it's like, if you want to be next Holly Berry, then you're gonna beat whoever's in front of you and throw her in front of the car, in front of a tray, not actually throwing the person in front of the car tray, but you're gotta do whatever to climb all over that person to be the next star, to get ahead. And the same thing in the restaurant world, it's always cutthroat, where it's basically, it's a dog-eat-dog world, if they want one way of looking at it. But you're basically trying to outdo each other, and it's what about whatever happened of just working together and just collaborating. Yes, we all want to reach the brass ring or climb the ladder, but at the same time, it's kind of like you have to be humbled. And I'll give you a perfect example, and then I'll pass it over to you. Is that even if I become, God willing, I just want my show to be taken off. But if I became like an A-lister or B-lister, and I'm on all these TV shows, and I'd be wonderful and everything, but I'm still going to be working in retail. One, because I'm a type of person, I have ADD. So I'm the type of person who needs to be doing something. So I'm either got to be editing, I'm either got to be writing a script, I'm either doing props. I will be involved some form or another. Even if they don't have work for me, I'm going to say, screw it. But if it's like, say, Monday to Thursday, then you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday to yourself, I'm going to say, well, I'm going to work in retail. Because I like to have my foot in both doors. The famous world and also the reality. Because whatever happens in reality, you get those funny stories, you get those funny moments, and then you can carry those over to the entertainment world, and what you know and learn from the entertainment world, it can carry over to the other area, and then it's basically, you're networking, but you're also being appreciated, because, like, yes, I'm being paid $35,000, hypothetically, you were being paid $35,000, but at the same time, you want to earn that money. So people are like, oh, you're not sitting around and here's the money. You're also saying, yes, people are appreciative of your talent, but at the same time, you're also appreciated. You're still humbled, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah, it makes perfect sense. And back to what you were saying about the in competition and everybody's trying to just basically trample over one another to get to the top and think that's how it's done. You really need other people, whether you like it or not. I can do a lot of the things. When I do voiceover, sometimes I am pretty much my own editor and, of course, the talent, and then I got to promote myself, and it is time consuming. But when you are working on a Hollywood movie, you can't be like the jack of all trades, or any movie for that fact. I know some people are self-made people, that's great, but at the same time, you still need someone to market your stuff. You still need what goes into it. But as far as the whole competition goes with other actors, I used to see that a lot within myself. I'd be like, oh, I gotta be better than this person. But as I grew older, it was more like I just became in competition with myself. I want to be better than I was yesterday. I want to be the best version of me and what I see. And some years ago, there was a thing about who I wanted to be, but exactly wasn't that person yet. And it was like who I think I am, but who am I really? So once I started just picking apart the problems and everything, it came full circle, and I am so glad I'm where I am right now. So I just say you are your own best person.
Yes.
And you can be your worst enemy. Be in competition with yourself. Go to the classes, Alex. I tell myself this every day. I have this thing where I kind of just tell myself in my head what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. It's like a prep talk kind of thing. Go to the classes. Go work out, keep your body fit enough to do the work so you don't get sick all the time, and just the whole 9 yards. Anything I can do little by little to make my life better than what it was yesterday. So.
No, absolutely. A lot of people say you're your own worst enemy, and I'm in the same category because, that, just trying to find words for it. This is what happens when you don't do interviews on an everyday basis. You get rusty. Basically, I see myself going in two ways. My family wants me to go in one way. They want me to work in retail and accept the fact I have limitations. I'm learning disabled, handicapped, retarded, whatever. But I'm using that as motivation to saying, I'm going to prove to you I can still amount to something. And like you said, for throwing it back at you now, A lot of people are using a race card. It's like, oh, you're just a black girl. You're not going to amount to something. And it's like saying the thing for me, but I'm handicapped retarded, and you're saying you're a black girl, and no disrespect towards that. And it's saying you're gonna say okay, so if that's how you see me, fine. But I'm gonna show you I can be the best damn actress there ever was. And you gotta turn that into motivation and improve the naysayers and look at what you can do. And I was gonna ask you, did you deal with that type of, and like I said, it's uncensored. Did you deal with that type of bullshit, where there's a certain part you want, or there's a certain role, and you have to deal with all the politics and BS? And how did you overcome that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's pretty much something we deal with in everyday life. Sometimes I haven't dealt with it too much in my life, but I have dealt with discrimination and racism and everything. And I'm pretty sure if you live long enough, you're gonna do it too at some point. But I try not to let that get the best of me. It's like, well, it's so many different ways we can go with this, but keeping it on a clean slate. I just want to be around good people and people with common interests, and if you're good with that, and if you're not disrespecting me, hey, I have no disrespect towards you. We can laugh, we can talk, and get serious when we have to, but, it flies either way. It just depends on the situation.
No, absolutely. Hey, you give me respect, I give you respect. It doesn't matter, black, white, Asian. It doesn't matter. We all come from the same place. I don't do the whole politics. And I didn't mean how to... Now,
that's not to confuse it saying, oh, I'm colorblind. No, yeah. I'm color aware. I know that you are white. That's being descriptive. I mean, racism is wanting to control or suppress another race. And I mean, you're not really just doing that, then, hey, it's okay. You can call me black. I am black. In fact, I have a percentage of Native American as well. Sure, I'll embrace that too. But you are what you are. It's like, hey, you're a tiger. You're a lion. But they're both felines. I mean, of course. So.
Well, one thing I do want to say is, when I phrase my questions, so I have no filter, and I am socially awkward, so I didn't mean any disrespect going forward. So, just want to point that out.
Oh,
and
no.
Also, no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, oh, no, I understand. No disrespect. I get it.
And basically, I give you a perfect example how I deal with backwards-ass people from being upstate New York, because when you're in upstate New York, you deal with backward-ass people. I bet you on a daily basis, you get to do the same thing. But basically, you can say, I was turned down for a job. And it's basically, the same discrimination and everything. She didn't like the fact, make a long story short, she didn't like the fact I was handicapped retarded. That I learn at a slower pace. She didn't like that. Because she wanted, so I can't snap my fingers, but you wanted someone like that. And also I said I can't drive. I rely on public transportation. And she looked at me and was like, what do you mean public transportation? Taxis? So, well, I don't know, whatever the hell you call, whatever words you can call taxis. Public transportation, car service, or whatever. And she didn't like the fact, that I had a learning disability and I had to rely on taxis. And basically, she was an asshole. So basically, and it's just, every interview is different. So it basically depends on the person and the chemistry. So, as I said, I have done my interviews as of late, so I'm really rusty at this. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I'll give you a perfect example. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your honest opinion? Did you think, okay, well, you said you're handicapped, learning disabled, whatever. Did you think you had to do this because there was some kind of sympathy and you think this was going to help my career, or did you see this as an opportunity to get yourself out there and to help a good cause? Honest opinion.
I was flattered. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think anybody knew I existed. I was like, I honestly felt flattered. And it's also the thing of helping people out, just helping people. But when I first saw you, I didn't know who you were. I was like, who's this person? Oh my gosh, this is great. Somebody know me, but it wasn't so much about me and everything. I mean, like I say, acting, when it comes to the entertainment industry, everything is an ensemble, and we need each other. You know, if it helps promote you, it helps promote me. It's a win-win 50-50 thing. So it wasn't anything, because I see you as a person, not, oh, I gotta feel sorry for you, poor baby. I don't have, that's whatever. But pretty much I was flattered that someone wanted to reach out to me, and in turn I can help them out. So, yeah.
No, absolutely. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask you 2 last easy questions. I'm going to then pass the show over to you, and this is your time after all, once we come back.
Alrighty.
Get a personal video message for yourself or as a gift for someone else. For personal connections, shoutouts, birthdays, proposals, weddings, and much more. Enter your details about yourself so the celebrity can record a personal video message especially for you, including details such as your name, age, birthday, hobbies, or whatever else you include. As soon as the video has been recorded, you'll get an email with your link so you can share it on social media or download and keep it. Celebrities record videos as and when they can, usually within 2 weeks. But if you want a video for a specific date and it does not look like it will arrive in time, you can cancel it and get an instant refund at the click of a button. There are hundreds of celebrities to choose from and many more joining every day. Search by category or genre, buy a gift voucher, get updates and offers, and encourage your favorite celebrities to join so they can connect with fans in a fun and unique way. Raise money for their charities and much more. So order your video now for yourself or for someone else.
I'm so bored.
Want to see something really cool?
Yeah!
Now you'll never be bored again with Loot Crate, a totally bodacious mystery box packed with awesome toys, radical games, and other surprises. And the best part is, you can get Loot Crate delivered right to your door. So don't delay. Ask your parents and order today.
Everything okay in there? Yeah, everything great. I love Loot Crate.
Batteries not included.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the KeithAndrewNetWork Network 324. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Ms. Denise. And I just want to say thank you for sticking with us and putting up with me. And now for people who want to know, yeah, you heard the whole speech. Basically I'm shown that, for the longest time I was labeled as handicapped retarded. And for anyone out there who has been labeled for all their lives, it doesn't matter what stereotypes they've been labeled or nationalities, labels are meant to be broken. And you're going to show them, hey, you may want to put me in a little box, but I'm going, as Donald Trump says, it's not going to be big, it's going to be huge. So, yeah, I know, bad analogy.
I will let you have that.
It's you're basically saying, you'll see me as one way, but I'm going to force you to see me as I want to be seen. So it's basically you're going to break those labels, you're going to break all those stereotypes. I'll be honest, if people were always showing me as learning disability and disabled, maybe I could have taken advantage of that. But the truth is, I didn't want to go through life having people feel sorry for me, because there's things I want to do. There's things you want to accomplish. So break the stereotypes, break the BS, break the glass ceiling, break whatever you want to break the scenario, and say, God gave you a shitty hand, but it's up to us to make the best out of it. Turn a worse situation into the best. Turn a worst case scenario into a best situation, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Um, and it's just this thing sometimes when you work so hard, almost to the point of exhaustion, and you're like, I don't know how much more I can go on with this. But just remember, every day that you wake up, you have another chance to make your life as you want it. And I live like right up the street from like this fire department. Actually, yeah, fire department, ambulance. And I remember almost every night, late night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I hear those sirens go off, and I'm just like, my God. But at the same time, I think about that, and I'm just like, someone just probably took their last breath. So every day that you wake up, I mean, know that it's a different day and you can change it. The problems from yesterday might fall over. I remember in high school, we used to have a motto say that yesterday is gone forever, tomorrow may never come, but today is yours. So, hey, if you feel sorry for yourself, other people, I mean, probably won't feel sorry with you. I mean, they'll probably trample over you. It's all about who you think of yourself as being. So you take that and you run with it, and hey, you are what you say you are.
No, absolutely. Now it's the last 10 minutes left. This is your time after all. So do you have any funny stories you'd like to share? Your social media, anything you want to ask me? This is your time.
Oh, okay. Story of my life. What kind of funny stories you want to hear?
Have you ever worked in retail?
Oh my God, I do work in retail as I work in retail. I know your pain, and I have so many funny stories that happens every day. Oh my gosh.
If you'd like to share a couple, if it makes you feel better, I can go first to break the ice.
I don't know. It's like sometimes I just feel like sometimes people always get in my line talking crap. I'm just like, why do y'all come to me with these problems and everything? But and I just sometimes roll with it. Like, well, actually, I can tell you a cool story. It just recently happened a couple of weeks ago. I work at Best Buy, and it's in Atlanta, Buckhead location. And you know, Atlanta is now the hot hub for filming and everything like so. But I have a closing shift, and pretty much it's a slow night. People coming in and out, and I had this guy go. I didn't speak to him that much until after the fact. I didn't even know he was after the fact, but I was getting some kind of weird vibe. But he went over to the Geek Squad counter, got this flash drive, and came over to my line to check out. And I'm looking at the guy, and he's like talking in this accent. It's like an African accent. And I'm looking at him like, I get the vibe that he's an actor. And I've probably seen him before. So he was with two other guys also. And he's talking in an accent. He's making fun of it. He was just going off whatever he was saying. He was like, ha, she thought that I talk like this all the time. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, So I'm interacting with him, asking him all the stuff about the protection plans, everything. He was like, well, does it cover, it's a hard drive, so does it cover the stuff that's lost on it? I was like, no, it doesn't. He was like, well, I don't want it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So check out everything. But I'm still looking at him like, oh, wait a minute. So the other guy that comes up, I like to sometimes just ask people, hey, what, if they're buying anything film related, what are you doing? Well, the person that was with him walked up with this tripod, and I was like, hey, what you doing? He was like, well, we're filmmakers and whatnot. And I was like, oh, cool, what you working on? And he was like, a Marvel movie. I was like, oh, okay. And what was funny is that I was should have been on set that day, but they didn't call me. But I was like, oh, what Marvel movie? It's like the Black Panther. I was like, cool. So are you like what do you do? I had the lighting designer come through my line the other day, and we were talking about it and whatnot. He was like, I'm the stunt coordinator for the Black Panther. And I was like, wait a minute. I put 2 + 2 together, and I said, that was the Black Panther. That was Chad Boseman that just walked. I was like, yeah, I'm his stunt trainer. I was like, oh, cool. So basically, I just had a whole interaction with the Black Panther. That was, So it was a whole different. I mean, I was like, wow, but I wasn't starstruck like, he looks younger in person.
The only time I was starstruck was I met, Middletown, New York has a thrift market, and they do autograph signings. So when I met Velvet Sky, are you a wrestling girl?
I used to be back in. Oh my gosh, my grandparents got me hooked on that. When I was growing up, it was all about The Rock, and then the Batista, and yeah, we go on.
So there was a WWE superstar and a TNA wrestler, Velvet Sky. Basically, after being starstruck, it didn't carry over to the next person. But I don't know if you ever heard of a diva named Malena Perez.
No, I think I may have heard of Molly Holly or something. Holly Molly.
Yeah, she retired. She's one of the best.
Yeah.
Still want to have her on my show, though. On my things to do list.
Oh, cool.
But when I met Malena, I was like, oh, hi. I shook her hand. And I was holding her hand. I'm like, oh, sorry, awkward. But then I was like, I like to... Basically said, what did I say? Oh, can I have a personal message? And basically, it's like, okay, what do you want me to say? And so I hesitated it. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm starstruck. She started to laugh. Says, you're so sweet. Take your time. So I basically told her about my talk show. And still waiting to have her as a guest. But don't ask me why, but I have the autographs. It's on my website, too. I have the autographs that she wrote for me. So I keep up the good work. You're an inspiration. I wanted to ask Velvet Sky so you can write me a personal message, but I didn't want to impose on her. But basically, I felt like a connection with Malena because, I was constantly holding her hand. And I said, well, if maybe next time you're in the area, we can hang out. And she looked at me like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. I wasn't hitting on you or anything. And she said, no, I completely understand. I'm just thinking, when am I going to be in New York next? But, she was a sweet person. She gets a bad rap from, the entertainment world. But that's what happens when you become an actor. You have TMZ, or you have whatever following you and paparazzi BS. But basically, that was the first time where I actually met someone I was starstruck. Have I met random stars? I met Steph Myers. He was a nice guy. Okay. He came to, did you know who Steph Myers is?
No, I don't.
I have to send you the link. Yeah, he basically...
That's one thing about me. I don't really just get too much in celebrities' personal lives, and sometimes I don't even know that person until I really have to know that person. I'm like, oh my God! I'm like, okay, I work with them. Hi. So...
No, I'm the same way. I met, Steph Myers. I wanted to talk to Steph Myers more, but at the time I was a fan of Pablo. He's the cartoon guys. Don't talk about cartoons. And he makes fun of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And they're both from Saturday Night, but Steph Myers was really nice. He was trying to catch up with them. And the other guy was an asshole, and he basically said, I'm a big fan of yours. Okay, thanks.
Goodbye.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was kicking myself. Now I'm like, should I talk to the other guys some more? Because I don't know. Anyway, but I met Bret Hart. I met Milena, Velvet Sky. I have a couple of celebrity endorsements. If you saw my website, more wrestlers, and 2 times in person I met a couple of celebrities. Not saying, okay, they're got to be at this point. I want to go over to them. Completely by accident, like how you met the Black Panther. I was on the line at a food stand, and I stood behind, I think it was Wanda Sykes. She was short. She had the same exact hairstyle, same exact voice. She was either her or she was her stunt double. But I swear to God, looked exactly like her, and I didn't want to say, hey, are you Wanda Sykes? And have her say, oh, who the hell are you? I do like a bad impression.
Talking to me. Like, what?
Just trying to make you laugh. And I didn't want to impose on her. And recently, I work over at Michael's. I rung someone up who, have you seen Avengers?
Oh, yeah.
I rung someone up who looked like Mark Buffalo. He had gray hair, though, but he sounded just like him. And I was like, aren't you, I'm not the type of person who would say, aren't you Wanda Sykes or aren't you Mark Buffalo? Because if they say no, you're going to look like an asshole. So basically,
as a compliment, I actually had this guy come through my line who looked just like the governor from The Walking Dead. And I'm not even sure if that was him, but I was like, oh, it sure looked like it. But okay.
Hey, if you don't ask, you probably would never know, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not the type of person to impose. If I really like the person, like if you were online somewhere and says, I'm a big fan of yours, or if, for an example, you just did an interview with me and I want to catch up with you, that's different because we're on the same base now. Or you're a fan of my work and you saw me somewhere, you come over and say, hey, how are you, blah, 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 because you're doing this to support a good cause and to make a new friend out of it. So basically, it's, I'm not, if I see someone who I like or respect, I might say, I go over and introduce them, but I'm not the type of person who would just say, oh my God, it's Robert Downey Jr., and want to run over. I don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have anybody that I'll just flip shit over and be like, oh my God, it is I mean, once upon a time, it was Johnny Depp. And I was like, when I was a really big Captain Jack Sparrow fan, I was like, okay. I mean, I still am. A new Pirates movie coming out. That's cool. But other than that, I don't know. I really don't. Like, if I meet him, I'm like, okay, I met him. But it's not like, I don't know. Yeah.
So, like an example, if I saw Will Smith, like, if I'm here and he's on the next thing, I may just turn to him like,
hey.
And that's really about it, and then go back to what I'm doing. I'm not going to, like, flip the table in the air and throw the food everywhere and say...
Right, and be like, move, everybody, I got to go meet this person.
Basically, it's... People act, and just trying to find the words for it. If it's really... something when you're never gonna see this person ever again, once in a lifetime. But if it's just like trying to find a word for it, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole. It's just if you really respect a person and they're an inspiration, of course you're going to get up and go to them. But if it's someone you just meet in a passing, like say, okay, I'm gonna see you around or whatever, that's it. I'll give you a perfect example. Will Smith or George Carlin. If you had a choice to get up and walk over, who would you rather see?
Will Smith.
I'd say George Carlin because he's really funny. I do like Will Smith. I grew up watching him. So okay, let's give me another scenario. Let's see. He was in my actually one more question and I'll pass it over to you. I promise I will shut up.
It's a talk show.
Yeah,
Why are we shutting up?
I want you to do the talking instead of me. So one easy question, then I'm going to pass it back to you. If I could meet Wesley Snipes, and by the way, Wesley Snipes, my dad was his teacher when in high school. Oh, I think it was back in 1967 or 1976. So it was something back there. My dad has the yearbook of Wesley Snipes, picture in the yearbook, and my dad was his teacher. Who would have thought, having Wesley Snipes in your class? And around the corner, J-Lo went to school, but my dad never taught her. Just, I forgot his name right. I just said Wesley Snipes. And I'm like, well, if I get to meet Wesley Snipes or Van Diesel, be honest, I'm going to go say, yeah, Van Diesel, hi, how are you? I ain't Fast and the Furious and yeah, whatever. But you're Wesley Snipes, and to me, I feel like I have a connection to Wesley Snipes because it's like, hey, you went to IS 125 and you graduated in 1967. And it's like, how do you know that? My dad was your teacher. So, it's like, hey, how's everything? Can I have an autograph to my dad? To see how he is. I would love to meet Wesley Snipes, and I think he would be flattered to say, your dad was my teacher, back when I was a kid. And that's true. That's not, I'm not making that up or anything. But, my dad met a lot of interesting people. He was on the float for with Mayor Giuliani and one of the astronauts. He had dinner with, here's a funny story. He had lunch with Al Pacino. Basically, Al Pacino was friends with my dad's friend, who was the assistant principal. And it's like, hey, blah, 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 would you like to have lunch with me and my friend, Al? Okay, sure, yeah. It's like, and so Al Pacino came in with the cap over his face, head down. It's like, hey, Al, come over here. My dad's like, some guy named Al. Talked the head of him. Holy shit, it's Al freaking Pacino. Hey, yo, have some pizza. How's it going? And so my dad had food as Al Pacino. He met the Wayans brothers. Wesley Snipes was in his class, but he taught. So my dad is basically an inspiration. So I tried to mirror what he does to like a professional standard. As I say stupid things, I don't know how to hold a conversation, but basically I'm trying to compare myself to my dad, but at the same time, I'm not trying to be a carbon copy. We keep forgetting the scenario where you ever go up and then you come crashing down, or you gotta light a fire. That's another scenario. You gotta be a fire. Two things will happen, and I promise to pass it back to you. It's you're either going to burn bright, and then you're gonna burn out as fast as you came, or you're going to be a small fire and you're going to gradually burn and burn and burn and keep burning until the day you die, or until the day you're completely satisfied with everything you accomplish. So it doesn't matter.
Well.
No, go ahead.
Oh, you were breaking up a little bit. I was like, huh? Yeah. Everything that you said makes total sense. And then sometimes the thing that I have with myself, I'm like, I'm doing all of this, and then it's like, all right, I sometimes wonder about my future.
Right, same here.
And that's natural for anybody that's going through any kind of ambition, wanting to accomplish whatever in life. You always wonder, am I going to reap what I sow? And it gets discouraging a lot, especially when it's not to say that you don't feel happy for that other person, but when you see that other person, you're like, oh man, you got that. That's so awesome. And it actually gives you pretty much a good feeling to know if it happened to him, and I know him, it probably happened to me. But it's definitely a natural thing to feel discouraged, but you have to really just keep going. You really do. And I sometimes have that whole debate with myself. and I'm working hard, so hard right now. What if it doesn't pay off? And then I've just wasted how many times? But at least, at least I could say this, that I didn't sit down just thinking about it and waiting and wondering about it and looking at life through or living vicariously through a TV screen or whatnot. Because once upon a time, honestly, I could say that I'm at a point right now in my life that I guess you could say I didn't even see myself being. But because I went out there, I had a vision for myself. I wanted to get it done. And I am where I am right now. Because once upon a time, I wasn't. And I still remember, just wishing that I could be where I am. I mean, I'm not exactly up there and everything. It's fine. But I'm still on the path of doing what I want to do, and that's acting. It's always something that's felt natural to me, like something I had to do. And I didn't want it to be, by the time I get, whatever bedridden age, to be like, man, I wish I could have done that with my life, Because, hey, it is short, and time does go by so fast. When you don't even realize it. And you say, it goes back to the whole thing when I said you spend more time thinking about what you want to do than actually doing it.
Right.
And I didn't want to be that person. I really didn't. It's why I, up and moved from where I originally was from, and I'm a lot further in my age now, where I was, I can say that much. And I'm still young, so I'm not even going to tell. I'm trying to beat around the bush of how old I am, can't you tell? But I'm still young enough to explore the world and still enjoy myself, but at the same time, I'm going towards something that hopefully will sustain me to the end.
No, absolutely. Now, stay tuned for after the show. I do have a couple questions for you.
All right.
Wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you in part 2 down the road.
All right, part 2.